And we're going to start with Laurel. And for those of you that have not been on a Newbie to Ruby Zoom before, we do it as like an interview type process. And so that way you kind of get to know your team, you get to know your leaders, you get to know your sidelines, your uplines, your downlines, and then most of all your sideline brothers and sisters on your team. So sometimes we don't always get to know them or be able to interact with them. So that's what I love about these Zooms. So we're going to go ahead and start. Laurel, I want you to start with a little bit about your journey. So if you want to tell us when you got started, what made you want to start in this business, and a little bit about how life was before It Works. Hold on, let me see if I can get that noise out. Is everybody muted?
Yeah, my TV's on. Maybe I should go turn it off.
Yeah, you totally should.
Okay, give me one. Give me one second.
Okay, let me see here.
All right. Is that better?
Yep. Okay. So tell us a little bit about when you got started, what life was like before It Works, and why you wanted to do this business.
Okay. So I signed last year in March. I think it was on March 31st. And at the time that I joined, I was living in a travel trailer with my husband and our 2 kids. We had been struggling because our 2 tattoo shops flooded. I mean, we had one tattoo shop, it flooded. We moved to a new location, that one flooded 3 months later. And so we had to move to another location, and we just lost like thousands of dollars and couldn't afford to pay our rent anymore. So we moved on to my family's land and lived in travel trailers for a year and a half. When I started because I wanted to get the $1,000 Ruby bonus, which I did. And then I signed up my husband while the $1,000 Ruby bonus was still going on and got him to Ruby. So we got $2,000 bonuses within a 2-month period of time. And we were able to use It Works money to save 5% of the down payment on our house that we just moved into. And I don't know, before It Works, I just felt a little lost. Like I never really had anything to do. I mean, I run our tattoo shop and I book appointments, but you know, as a mom who stays home for the most part to watch our kids, because I can't afford childcare on a regular basis. So I wasn't making an income, and it was driving me crazy because I've always been a hustler. And so, you know, joining It Works gave me my independence back, which I really, really love. And if I can get through what was going on in my life and all the obstacles that we've had and all the people who doubted me and told me that I would never, ever make it to Diamond, you know, I just used all the doubters and kept pushing forward to reach my goals. And I went Diamond last month, and it's been awesome.
So tell us a little bit about, so your ultimate goal was to go Diamond by your 1-year anniversary. So will you kind of tell us a little bit about, you know, some of the obstacles that you faced this winter, how you overcome those, and then what was so different about last month than any other month in your business? What happened last month within you, within your team, just all around that made last month happen? Because so many people, you know, say, I want to be Diamond, I want to go Diamond. Like that's one of our biggest goals in this business, and unlocking that huge part of the compensation plan. And so kind of tell us a little bit about those action steps, and what did you have to change to get there and make it happen?
So I have quit It Works. Like not quit, like actually called customer service and quit, but I stopped working my business, I think like 4 times in the time period that I joined. And because this was my 3rd time, I think, having a full Diamond chart since I started. And this was the first time that I had a team of runners, people who believed in themselves in this business just as much as I did. And, you know, you have to stop giving up on yourself. Like, what changed for me this last month was that I set my eyes on a prize and I never gave up, which I had been doing my entire life, giving up on myself and my goals and always failing, constantly failing, and everyone being like, I told you so, and then this month I just said, you know what, last month, I was so sick of not reaching my goal because I kept giving up on myself. I kept letting the seeds of doubt come inside my brain and just, I kept listening to that crap, and once I decided that I was no longer going to, let other people tell me I wasn't worth it or I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I just believed in myself and I believed in my team, and I just really ran and led my girls and helped my girls because I wanted my girls on my team to also promote. So we just all worked together, and that's how I got here. It's just by being with my team and leading from the front.
Okay, so if there was a piece of advice that you could give to somebody that, say, they are a Ruby right now, or they're an executive right now, or they're an Emerald right now, and they're shooting for Diamond this month, or they're shooting for their ultimate goal, but just something, isn't there, and they can't figure out what that is, what would be your kind of biggest piece of advice to somebody that's like trying to get right over that hump? And I would say, like mine would be conference, but you weren't at conference and still made it happen in February. So will you so people on the outside that, didn't experience conference, but yet you still fueled that fire and ran as hard as you could last month. Will you kind of explain a little about like maybe a tip or a piece of advice or something that you would give to somebody this month?
Connect with your team, and be genuine. Try to make friends. In this business, it's not about making sales. Truly, that's my biggest piece of advice, is quit trying to pitch people sales. Really genuinely try to get to know your potentials, get to know your loyal customers, get to know your potential distributors, really build a relationship with people. Because the whole friendship, fun, and freedom motto that It Works has, I really focus on the friendship part of it with all my potentials. Because the last thing that I want to do, especially since I own another business as well, is just spamming the shit out of people. So really try to connect with people on a human level. Don't just be somebody that is just pitching sales all the time at people. Be genuine, be honest, and be real.
And I love that. I think, and as watching you grow and watching you from when you first joined until now, and you've become one of my good friends. And it's crazy to think that, just a year ago, we just met, in this business. What this business can do for people is if you really connect and build those friendships and those relationships with your team and your leaders and your potentials, how close you really can get in this business. And when people say, like you said, the friendships, fun, and freedom, it's so true. You ultimately have to dive into that and, partake in the community of It Works, partake in the products, just genuinely be all in with everything that it has to offer. And then you will get in return what you put in. Absolutely. So Laurel, will you kind of tell us a little bit about what you're going for this month? You're a rock star, and I've signed, 5 distributors this last weekend, but, you definitely have, I would say, your mind right. You know what you want. Like you said, you've gone through some slow months. You've gone through some hell of months. You've gone through it all. And so I would say, you're a perfect example for people who can go through those struggles, but yet still see the light again. So will you kind of tell us a little bit about what you are going for this month?
I am pushing to go double diamond. And am I still connected? I think everybody's frozen.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm pushing to go double diamond, and but more so than that, and me and my family getting bonuses. I've got so many people on my team that are pushing for Ruby bonuses. I want them to get their Ruby bonus. I've got people on my team pushing to get that $2,000 Emerald bonus. And I want them to feel that success too. So I'm pushing for my goal, but ultimately I want my team to promote too. Like I want my team to get a piece of the pie too, and just to be, stoked and excited and pumped up about the possibilities.
And that's one thing that I love about you too, is that there's no fun in this business if you go to the top by yourself. You want your team right there with you. You want your team experiencing the freedom with you, and being able to celebrate together and run together is one of the greatest blessings. So thank you so much, Laurel, for sharing a little bit about you, a little bit about your journey. And we always talk about failing forward. And I think that's something that you're so good at, is that you realize like, okay, this didn't work, so I'm going to tweak it and move forward, rather than stopping and letting those roadblocks block you and keep you from moving forward. So I'm so proud of you. Keep up the hard work. Do you have anything else that you want to add before we move on to Nicole?
Just don't ever give up on yourself. And if you do, get with your upline, chat with them, because your upline is your friend, and don't ever give up on yourself. Just keep pushing forward. You will get through it.
Ooh, that gives me chills. I love it. Thank you so, so much. We are now going to move down to Nicole. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Where are you at? There you are. Hello.
Hi.
You're cracking me up. Okay, you guys. So Nicole is on. Nicole is one of our newest diamonds on our Fearless and Free team as well. Nicole has it been a year?
A year is April 17th.
I was going to say, I didn't know if it was this month or next month. So
yeah,
Nicole will be in a year next month. And so Nicole, will you tell us a little bit about your journey, but more importantly, what was life like before It Works and how it has changed now?
Let's see. Life before It Works. For a while there, I was serving for 4 years at Bob's in Richland, which for those of you who aren't in Tri-Cities, it's a burger restaurant. I was working kind of crazy hours there. Sometimes you get off at 11 at night, and sometimes you have to work at 9 or 10 in the morning, which isn't too bad. But on top of that, I was also working at a coffee shop. So I was working at 4 in the morning until noon, and then I'd go and serve at Bob's. And then I ended up quitting the coffee stand, and then moving on to a doctor's office, working for an eye doctor in town, and just went to doing that. Well, then it just wasn't enough money. So, Bryce and I, we like to travel, and we're trying to save for a house and a wedding soon. And so I ended up getting a part-time job working at a winery, pouring wine on the weekends. And so I was working 40, 50 hours a week at the eye doctor's office, and then about 20 to 30 hours a week at the winery. So then I saw how successful Allie and Taylor were being with It Works. It definitely sparked my attention, and I knew that like in my future I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that I also wanted to provide for my family and not just rely on Bryce to be the main source of income. And so watching Taylor and Allie, this definitely made me want to try it and want to sign up. And so when I did, I definitely had some struggles and things that I went through, but it kind of helps me with my journey, I guess. So that's kind of what I was doing before, a little bit of a lot of different things.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, let's talk a little bit, because Laurel talked a little bit about struggles, because a lot of times people think that, when you promote to diamond or above, it just seems so far out of reach. It seems like it's never going to happen. It seems like it's either given to you or it's just too far. And I think one of the biggest things is people realize that don't realize is that, where we're at is we do the same exact thing that everybody else does. And so it's so cool to see everybody grow and to see, from a year ago, Laurel just got into this business and you just got into this business, and then to see where you both are, today, which I think is awesome. So will you talk a little bit, because I know you've had struggles in this journey, but you've also had a lot of victories as well. Will you kind of talk a little bit about your struggles and how you got through those, and why did you not give up? Why did you not quit? And what was your biggest strength to get through those?
Yeah. So when I met with Taylor, when I signed up, she never gave me her website or anything, because I was like, hey, I'll just meet up with you and you can walk me through how to sign up. So she brought her phone or iPad or something, and I signed up with her there. She also was telling me, I don't know, I don't remember exactly if it was when I had signed up or shortly thereafter, but she had told me that everybody's journey is different and everybody has their own struggles and ups and downs in this business, and it's just kind of like something you have to write out type of thing. And I didn't really understand fully what that meant until because I signed up the last month that the good bonuses were last year. And so I was eligible for the $1,000 bonus. Well, I missed my 4 loyal customers by 2 days. And so after my month, 2 days later, I signed up my 4th loyal customer. So I missed the 120 in free product. And then the 2 months, my 2 full months came and gone. And I never signed a distributor till after 5 months in the business. And so that was like a really big hit, being in almost half a year and struggling and being like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Am I in the right spot? Like, am I doing something wrong? So many different questions. Like, is this right for me? Like, I guess I was going through a lot of different things mentally at that time. And Taylor would ask me like, hey, send me some screenshots of your conversations. And she would tell me little things to tweak slightly. But for the most part, she was like, no, you're doing fine. You're doing good. Just keep up with it. People are watching. And I was just like, okay, like, why am I seeing so many people like being successful? And during that time of my 5 months was when they did the promotion for the cruise. And I just kept seeing so many people on our team, which I was so happy for. Like, I was texting Taylor and a couple other people, and I was like, that's so cool that this person just signed another loyal, or they just got more points for the cruise. And like, I was super excited for our team, but it was discouraging for me because I think I only had like 1,200 points. Which wasn't a lot. I'm laughing now because I'm like, wow, I could get that in no time, but at the time it was a struggle. And I know that if I just had signed a few distributors, like, it would have boosted my confidence. So when I finally did, I ended up signing 4 distributors in 1 week, which was crazy to me because I was just like, cool, I signed 1. Oh, there goes another. Okay. And then when I got 4, I was like, I got a team. Oh my gosh, I got a team. Like, it was just really exciting to be like, wow, people were watching and they're now like, they're with me and we're moving and we're doing this. And it was just, I don't know, it was just an emotional roller coaster for a few months there.
So you brought up a good point that I wasn't even going to ask you about this, but you brought it up. So I think this would be really helpful for a lot of people on this Zoom, especially.
Didn't make the cruise.
What? What'd you say?
I didn't make the cruise. Oh, okay.
No, is the comparison trap. And so you were saying that you kind of got stuck in, like, you were looking left and looking right and kind of seeing there was other people being successful. And you were like, why am I not sending a distributor? And I'm half a year in and, what am I not doing? And so will you kind of talk a little bit about how did you get out of that? How did you move forward? And how were you able to like put your blinders on and just focus on you and your team?
Well, I think that when you finally have a team, it's like you focus on their goals and what I guess, what your goal is and what their goal is. And then you try to like come up with a way to like meet it, and helping them ends up helping me. And so I've just been pouring so much energy and time and love into my team that I don't have time to focus on anyone else, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see the success and everything that everybody's doing these last few months and growing and all that, but I don't have time to focus on that stuff when I'm focusing so much love and attention on my team. I guess, I don't know.
No, and I think that's great. I think it's a good point to bring up though too, because when you did that, you're seeing the end result. You know, you're seeing the reward coming from that. And when we pour in love into our teams, we're going to get, you know, the reward for ourselves as well. And that's what, you know, the ultimate thing about being a selfless leader and leading from the front, and especially with your team and just being focused. Because oftentimes, even myself last year, you know, I just kept saying, well, why is that happening to this person and that person? Why are they promoting in 2 months of being in the business? And I've been in, you know, almost 3. And so I love how you said that, you know, when you were focused and you just worried about yourself and your team, that big things are happening for you guys. So thank you for bringing that up. I love that. Now going into this month, will you kind of tell us, you know, last month, you know, going diamond and now going shooting for the next level of double, you know, what would be like a biggest like piece of advice that you could give for, you know, an executive on this call, a distributor on this call, a Ruby on this call, somebody that wants to shoot big this month and they're just going all out? What would be something that you could give to them, or something that you experienced last month to help them in their business?
I think a huge thing with goal setting is breaking it down to be more achievable. You know, like when you're a distributor and you're wanting to be diamond, well, break it down. How many distributors do you need to sign every month or every week in order to reach that goal? So if you're emerald and you're shooting for diamond, how many distributors do you need to chart, and how many need to be signed every week? And with each person below you, what's their goals and how many are they going to have to sign or meet to reach their goals? And in all reality, like when everybody's working for a common goal, everybody achieves it and everybody moves forward. So just breaking down the goals to be more achievable, I think makes it seem less stressful and less, I guess, big. So you're like, oh my gosh, I need 23 distributors. Okay, well, if I break that down, I really only need like 4 or 5 a week. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. You know, like it definitely seems more achievable.
And I completely agree. And I think something too, you know, going along with diamond being a lot of people's goals is just breaking it down into the 3 rubies. And that's what we always say, you know, focus on the rubies. And Ruby is such a crucial and big step in this business. And it doesn't take much. It just takes, you know, that solid focused work. And I think tonight, especially on the corporate call, when Mark was saying, you know, this is the last month of bonuses, you know, get to work. What are you doing now? Not waiting till the end of the month to work, but working now. So
right.
Is there anything else that you would like to add, Nicole, before we move on to Kendra?
No, I just think that everybody who had like a strong, good momentum from last year or last month, or last year, last month, take that into this month and continue on through the month, because it's only going to strengthen your business and strengthen you as a person to make you a better leader for your team in the future. So just don't slow that momentum down.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being on. If you guys have any questions for them, put it in the chat and then we'll answer them at the end if we have some time too. So awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, Kendra.
Yes. I cannot hear anything.
Allie, you're on mute.
That's why I can't hear you. There we go. Okay, Kendra, say it again. Where are you at?
Hello, right here.
Why do I not see you? Hold up. I gotta find you. Let me mute. Okay. So Kendra is one of our newest diamonds on our Fearless and Free team as well. She promoted last month to diamond, and Kendra, you have such a unique story too, because you are expecting a little one on the way. So will you kind of tell us a little bit about your journey when you got started, and then how life was before it works?
Yeah, so before I got started, I was just getting out of college, or I think in like the last 3 months of it. I started in July of 2014, so I've been doing it for about a year and a half, a little bit more. And I was serving at a restaurant. It was like 2 days a week. I had limited my schedule down because I started getting really bad anxiety there, and I wasn't like able to work. I would make myself sick as soon as I got here so I could go home. And it was just like, it was a really bad situation. I really didn't like it, and it just wasn't working out for me. So I wasn't making enough money. I wasn't able to pay my bills. I was living with Matt, and I didn't really have any way to help him with bills, or hardly even pay my own bills sometimes. So that was super stressful. And then I joined It Works, like I said, in July. And I've just kind of ran with it ever since.
Okay, so will you tell us a little bit about your why from when you first joined, and then now how things have kind of changed over the past couple months, and how you were able to overcome the struggles, the obstacles, to get where you are today? Because you've been so, focused on, I want to be diamond. And so what changed for you the past couple months, and what changed for you last month to make it happen?
So when I first joined, I really just wanted to make a couple extra $100, maybe $100 to pay my car payment or my cell phone or whatever it may be, just to help out with my bills and kind of take the stress off. But in November, we found out that we are expecting, and we are super excited. So now my why is to be home because I don't want to go to work. I hate being emotional. Oh my God. So honestly, it's just, I don't want to miss anything because I know how important it is.
Oh.
Sorry.
Nope, you're good. It's good for people to see. It's good for people to say that what this business can do for you.
So, I'm just going. So, I'm just going to get, I don't know, I want to be home full time, but I want to be able to pay my bills and pay Matt's bills because he's helped me so much.
So I've seen you come a long way, Kendra. Like, you just emotionally and as a leader and as a person, and as your team as well. And so will you kind of talk a little bit about leadership for me? And will you kind of talk a little bit about like what conference did for you, and what that did, for your mindset, not only that, but like for your life and for your family, because you're a whole different person than when you were last year. So will you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I first started, I was just kind of like coasting, and I wasn't really into leadership. I could sign low customers like no other. Customer service was great for me. It was more so like finding distributors to join my team, and I don't know what it was, but there was a roadblock for me, and I think it was just because I was not confident in myself, and I built a whole Ruby chart and they quit, and I was just like, I don't understand what I'm doing. Like, this is ridiculous. I feel like I'm a good leader. And when it kind of got brought to my attention by Taylor a little bit, and to ask me, like, are you being a good leader, or are you in management mode? Why are you just watching your team? Are you doing what they like? Are you doing what you're asking them to do? And when in reality I wasn't. I was just kind of watching and on standby, just kind of waiting for people to come to me. So I don't know. I hit a roadblock. I went Ruby in, I think it was, I don't know, 7 months. And then I've been stuck ever since. So when I went to conference, my mindset completely changed. Seeing everybody on stage and like hearing the stories and where they started and where they are now. And it's like, I can do that. I know I'm a good leader. I have an awesome team. Like, they're so supportive. And last month we killed it. We ran and we just like worked together, and it was so crazy how it all came together so fast. And I've never like poured that much energy into it. I've been completely dedicated since I got back from conference, and just like my mindset completely changed. I knew I was going to be Diamond. I told myself all month I will be Diamond, and I really just wanted my team to succeed too. Like, they worked so hard for everything, and I couldn't have done it without them, obviously.
You almost made me cry when you first started talking, Kendra, because it was so crazy to see like the growth in you talking. Like, for you, you know, it's so hard when like an upline says, you know, like, hey, you know, this is what I'm seeing. And as a friend and as a leader to you, like, I want you to grow and I want you to move up and I want you to know what's happening, what's going on in front of you, and being able to accept that and move forward and taking that guidance, you know, and that advice from Taylor and saying, hey, you know, this is what I'm seeing. And for you to accept that and take it more as the constructive criticism, because more importantly, you know, she wanted you to succeed and you took that in rather than the, you know, she's on me or this or that. I just think that's super cool because I've seen it in you, and I know I'm not the only one either that has seen that grow. So we have like 4 minutes left, but I want you to talk really quick for like a minute just about, you know, what clicked for you of getting out of that management mode and getting into that leading from the front. Because we all know that when we lead from the front, our team will follow us. They will follow the leader as we set and pave that way for our team. You know, we show them that, hey, we're going to sign loyal customers, but I'm going to sign them with you. You know, we're going to sign distributors, but I'm going to sign them with you. And so how did you change your mindset to dig in the trenches with your team last month?
Well, honestly, when I saw Kylie and Sam promote, it was like they were working side by side together every single day, and I could see the growth in them, could see the growth in their team. I always see you working with your team. Taylor works with her team every day, it seems like, and it obviously, there was no secret to it. Like, you need to be with your team, you need to connect with them, you need to be on the same level and understand their goals and understand their why and help them reach their goals and not just worry about yourself. So I really just wanted the best for everybody. And when I saw that they wanted so much out of this business, I was like, I really need to focus on my leadership and get out of this mode because I'm just killing my business and killing it for everybody else. So it just wasn't doing me any good, and I realized it, so I changed it.
Good for you. That is so huge. And I know a lot of people on this call probably had a lot of aha moments too. I just wanted to say too that, you know, going along with like the community and the building, it's so true. Those who show up will go up. Whether you connect with your team on Zoom, whether you connect with your team face-to-face, whether you connect with your team at team trainings or wrap parties or at the park with the kids, wherever you do it and whatever works best for you, do it. If you have a busy life, but get on the phone with them. You know, they need to hear your voice. They need to hear your excitement. They need to hear your goals and just talk, really get to know everybody. So We have less than a minute, so I'm going to talk really fast. So thank you so much, everybody, for being on. Thank you, Laurel, Nicole, and Kendra. I appreciate you guys so much, and I loved listening to you guys, hearing your stories, and truly being that example for our fearless and free team. So please feel free to leave comments and questions. We won't be able to answer them because we're running out of time. So I will talk to you guys all soon. Thank you so much, you guys, for being on. We have 50 people on this Zoom, and this is recorded, so I will post it into our team page. Good night, everybody.